All right, I think that we're live. I am going to just double check the feed. I should be live in all of the places: Facebook, YouTube. Let me know if you tune in and are watching with me. We are live, so be prepared for any little crazy shenanigans like dogs barking and all that fun thing. Alexis, I got it, sweet girl. Thank you. Hi, Mel. Hi, everybody, for coming on. How are you? So, I am, of course, running just a few seconds late. So, I appreciate you bearing with me. I'm just going to grab a brush marker so that we can practice a little bit here. How is everyone this evening coming in? As I said, we are live on all of the places: Facebook, YouTube. Okay. Now, if you're an email insider and you've been following me for the past few weeks, you know that I have been giving out these tracers all month, the whole month of March. You can go back and get that this week. This is the new one for today. It will be available for a week. So I put the link below if you'd like to practice with me. Just sign up to be on the email insider list, and then these go out every Tuesday so that we can practice a bit. So as you guys come on, just come in and say hi. I'm looking to see if I can see any comments. I know a few of you are on, but we're just going to go ahead and get started. So you guys know that we've been doing this series not only so that we can learn and practice our brush lettering skills, but to do it in a way that is meaningful. And when I say meaningful, I started writing lettering when my husband passed away 8.5 years ago, and it just always helped me to letter meaningful quotes and words, right? So I just always have found a way through art and lettering to express myself through means of art, through creativity. Hey, Cindy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I promise you, I'm not going to just be talking a whole lot tonight. But this is this week's tracer, and I chose this word enough because I think it's just a really important message that I want to say women, but really all of us, women, men, everyone, need to understand is that we live in a society that is constantly fast paced. And I know, and I'm only going to speak for myself, but you guys might feel the same way. Um, it just demands a lot of us. And a lot of us go through life just feeling like that maybe we're not enough. We're not good enough. We're not pretty enough. We're not interesting enough. We're not intelligent enough. And those thoughts constantly, um, the self-doubt, it's that self-doubt circle. So I wanted to do words that had meaning for me this month, knowing that they would also touch some of you out there as well. So with that said, just know, I mean, the last few weeks we've been doing words like powerful, and then we did blessed and loved. These things that, yeah, I think we all know that we are those things when we really sit down and force ourselves to see it, but we don't necessarily always believe it. And we always need reminders. So I just broke up the word ENOUGH, and then I wrote it long. And if you are around tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on the Facebook page, probably live here over on YouTube as well, we'll come in and do a piece of artwork with the flowers that we've been doing at the end of each of our sessions. So let me just grab the little flowers. I know I promised I wouldn't talk too much, but I just want to grab those flowers. So we're going to get right into this anyway. So I've got a Pentel Touch pen. These are the smaller tips. They're much easier to learn with than the bigger dual brush pen tips like the Tombos. So if you're just starting and you're trying with the Tombow, put this aside and get yourself a feud. The smaller tip, these and the Tombow ones are two of my favorite, much easier to learn with. So just as we know the basics of lettering, as we're writing, any upward movement with our hand, we're not going to put a lot of pressure on our brush, and we're going to do thin upstrokes. So anything that's going in an upward direction, we're going to keep the line of that part of the letter thin. If we're going downward, we're going to press down on this brush pen, because we know, if you don't know, they're meant to bend and then they bounce back. So our down strokes, we are going to press down on this pen, and that part of the letter is going to look thick. So I'm going to show you with the E. I would come in from the side, and you can just trace over the paper. Go ahead and print out your tracer, and you can print it out. As we come in and up, we're going to keep very light pressure. Only the tip of that pen is going to touch our paper. As we come up and around and over, we're going to transition into pressing down hard on that brush pen. So we're going to get that thicker down stroke. Then we're going to, we're going to transition again and come into that upward stroke, which means we're going to go back to a thin line. And it looks a little blurry to me. I hope you guys are seeing okay. And then for the N, right? So we're going to start, and we're starting out on an upward. We're going to go upward, and then we're going to rotate over. As we do that, we're then going to press down. So as we transition and press down, and we're just going to repeat that stroke. The only thing we're going to change is we're going to transition and come back up to a thin line. So you'll want to practice that with your brush pen. So we're going to do the O, and the O is going to come upward. It's going to start coming up and transition into a thick, right? So I'm going to start over here on the side, come up with very light pressure on my marker. I'm going to come over and press. As I come back up and around, I'm going to lift back up. So right in here, we're going to lift up the pressure on that marker and come back to our thin stroke. Is this making sense for everyone? And if you have any questions, just let me know. If you know someone who would like to learn, please go ahead and sprinkle this out. Make sure you like, and if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel for more. Facebook, you guys, make sure you sprinkle out into the universe for me over there. Now for the U, we're going to start, and we're going to start with a downward stroke. Then we're going to transition to up. Okay, so we're going to press thick and heavy, transition over, up, light pressure, and come up. So you just want to work on these transitions, this going from the thick to the thin, and we're actually going to repeat that stroke again. So it's very, if you noticed with the N, we repeated the same stroke. With the U, we repeated the same stroke twice. Okay, we're going to come up here to the G. We're going to do another oval, just like we did for the O. Press, lift up, and then we're going to come down. We're going to press heavy, lift as we pull around, over, and up. Okay, now our H. We're going to come in from the side, light pressure on the marker, up, over, and press down. Press heavy on the pen. Okay, and then we're going to come up light, over, press, swing back up and lift. Okay, so I can break that into 2 strokes. And I think next week we're going to work on basic strokes. So I'm going to come over, up and over, press down. And then that next stroke comes up, down, and back up again. You put the 2 of those together and you have your H. Any questions up until this point, guys? Now, as you are practicing, and we know with lettering, the only way to get better is to repeatedly practice over and over and over again. There are only 8 strokes that make up every letter in the alphabet, that make up every word in our language, from 8 simple strokes. Practicing those over and over and over and over again will never lead to perfection, but it will lead to progress. And whatever progress you make, please just know it is enough, right? No one is judging you. Don't compare your work to mine. Don't compare your work to someone else's. That comparison, that is a perfect way to take a hit to the old self-love, right? And that is a perfect way to feel like, oh, well, geez, I'm not good enough. Well, I can't do like her, so I'm not even going to bother, right? So we want to get away from that and know that you're enough as you are. Messy, whether you're looking messy, whether you're looking put together and beautiful, you're showing up every day in your life, and that is all that you have to do, guys. That's all you have to be. Um, Whatever you are doing in your life is enough. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone other than yourself, right? So that I just need to get that out. I guess I needed to get that out. Let's try this E again with our bigger tombow. So I'm going to make it a little bit. We're going to come in light. And if you look real close at this tip, you'll see when I come down and press, I'm going to get a bigger line. I'm going to get bigger, thicker downstrokes and thicker upstrokes with this tombow. And that bounce back, this bouncing back to its pointy position, is a lot slower with the bigger pen. All right, so for the N, we're going to come up, over and press, up, over, press. And we are just going to continue that up and finish on a light stroke. Okay, now our O. I'm going to start off to the side, thin upstroke, over, press. I'm going to round, come up, and meet. Okay, with an O, you can do, those little flick offs, just like you do in cursive. Now with our O, we're going to start and we're going to come down. So a thick down. We're going to transition and lift back up to thin. And remember, we repeated that same stroke. Thick to thin. That gives us a U. Now our G, we're going to repeat our oval or our O over here. And I'm going to lift up. Then I'm going to come down, come back around, and loop right over on the thin tip of the marker. Now our H, I'll do right down here. So I'm going to do this big upward loop. I'm going to start here, come back up light, over, press, come under, and lift back up light. Right? So you can practice this with whatever marker you feel comfortable with. I'm just going to come in here. I'm actually going to switch back over to the feud. Okay, this is not going to be a really long lesson tonight. I think it's been a long day. Let me know if you guys will attest to that. Do you believe me with that? You guys having a long day too? So for the E, just like we did up here, we're just going to put everything together now. So we're going to come in, up, around, and over. And I'm going to come up, which is going to set me up to go right into my next letter. which will then set me up to go right into my oval. I'm going to fling that. I'm going to do like a little swirl, come over and set myself up to do my U. We're going to repeat that stroke. Do you see how each stroke is setting us up to go right into the next letter? Down, around, and over. And now we're going to just finish off that H. Press. I do have an Amazon link for the red brush pen. I'll put that in the comments here in just a moment. Judy, how are you this evening? Let's see if I can get that for you real quick. How is everybody? If you're just coming on, please feel free to come back and rewatch the live. But every week of March, we've been doing I am words, things that have meaning. You know, words that we need to remind ourselves over and over and over again of who we are. Let's see.
Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. So it's called a Pentel Arts sign, pen touch, otherwise known as the Pentel Fude brush. It's the little Fude brush, Fude. That is short for Fudenosuke. Hold on, I'm coming back. Let me see if I can find myself again now. I'm lost, which is nothing new. There we go. Melanie, it has been a long day, girl. I'm here. I'm barely here, but I am here. All right, so I was able, that took me long enough, Judy. That's a pack of the Fude pens. You can buy just a single. You can buy that one's, I think, the 12 color. But you can buy just the single colors as well. These are like my favorite pens to practice with. And then I just did this here. You can just practice with some of your print. And maybe practice writing this to yourself for the next week as a reminder that you are enough. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to be more of anything. You're enough just being who you are right now, where you are with what you have. It is enough, right? So you can just keep practicing, going over, and you'll see once you start building muscle memory in the hand, you can move a little bit quicker. But I love this. I love anything artistic because of the mindfulness factor. Melanie and I were talking about this earlier today. I talk about this with some of my other friends, and it's just a fact for me that giving yourself a break, giving your brain a break, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, to focus on something like lettering, take one word, enough, and just get a piece of paper and start writing it. Or get a piece of tracing paper. Trace over this over and over and over again. As you are writing it, your mind, you'll notice your mind just starts to slow down. I know I tend to talk fast when I'm nervous. I get a little flustered. When I start doing my art and my lettering, I get very quiet. And that's because my brain is saying, just breathe, right? I'm being very mindful. It just helps you to relax. So, as I was saying, I'd like to get just a full sheet of paper, write the word, or use this, get a piece of tracing paper, trace the word, trace it over and over and over again. And as you're doing it, think on that word, right? just like you would, I guess, if you're religious with a Bible verse, you might think on the Bible verse and how that applies to your life, right? With these sorts of affirmation words, you can keep saying to yourself, I'm enough. And then as you're lettering that, find reasons and keep affirming that to yourself that you are enough. I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be more pretty. I don't need to be more interesting. I don't need to be more talented in order to be enough for anybody other than myself, right? So that's what these things mean to me. Um, but if you are around, you can meet me here at 11, I think it's 11:30 tomorrow morning. These are the words that we've done over the past 3 weeks. And I'll be adding enough to another flower in the morning. And we're going to do just a small little craft. I don't even want to say a craft, but a page in my art journal, which I'm hoping that you guys will eventually start doing an art journal right along with me, and you can practice your art and your lettering. But if you'd like to meet me tomorrow on the page here, both Facebook and YouTube, we're going to do a little craft art page in my journal with our watercolor flowers. And you can learn how to make these watercolor flowers on the YouTube channel. I can throw the link for those in as well. Thank you for the hearts, guys. And I'm always up, like I said, I'm always up for hearing how I can better help you in your lettering and art journey. So when you run into issues or you have questions, let me know what you are struggling with so that I can help you with that. I can do this every day of the week and show you different words, but if you're struggling with something in particular, let me know and we can stop and say, okay, let's work on that. But I hope you guys like this. I know it wasn't on really, really long tonight, and that's okay, right? It was enough. It was enough. So I just want to thank you for hanging with me again tonight. If you're catching me for the first time, there is a link where you can go get on my email insider list, and you will get this sent straight to your email. And whatever freebies that I give out on Tuesdays will come directly to your inbox. And I hope to see you in the morning, guys. Think on this and know that you are enough. You are all these things. You're blessed, even when you don't feel it. You're powerful, even when you feel weak. And you are loved, even if you are feeling alone, right? You're enough. Go get creative, guys. I love you all, and I will talk to you in the morning. Bye.